Have you ever felt that no matter how hard you try, money seems to slip through your fingers? You might have tried everything, working longer hours, saving every last penny, even praying in the hope of receiving help, yet prosperity still seems out of reach. If you feel this way, I want you to know that you are not alone. Today could be the day that changes your life forever, because Padre Pio, the beloved and powerful saint, left an extraordinary gift for people like you. He understood the suffering of those seeking relief from their financial problems and bequeathed us a simple yet miraculous secret, a knowledge that transformed the lives of thousands of people who, just like you, were looking for answers. If you believe in the power of his intercession, write in the comments, Padre Pio, bless my finances, because what you are about to discover is not a mere coincidence. It involves 3 sacred numbers that Padre Pio used to attract abundance and prosperity. But before revealing them to you, you need to understand something fundamental. This is not a lucky charm or a magic formula. It is a heavenly gift that can only manifest with true faith and a pure heart. Padre Pio always taught us that true prosperity begins in the spirit, in our relationship with God, and in absolute trust in his providence. Recently, I received the testimony of Lucia Ramirez, a single mother who was on the verge of losing her home. Debts were drowning her, and every night she cried, wondering how she would feed her children the next day. Her despair was immense until she discovered these 3 sacred numbers of Padre Pio. In a moment, I will tell you her full story, because what happened to her afterward was truly miraculous. These numbers are not just anything. They are deeply rooted in the Catholic tradition and possess a spiritual significance so powerful that, when you write them with faith and the right intention, they open the doors of abundance in a way that seems almost miraculous. And no, I'm not exaggerating. The testimonies I have received are so extraordinary that it is sometimes hard to believe them, but they are real. Stay with me until the end, because not only will I reveal these 3 sacred numbers to you, but I will also teach you exactly how to use them, at what time of day to apply them, and which specific prayers you should say to maximize their spiritual power. This information could be exactly what you have been looking for to transform your financial situation once and for all. And remember, when Padre Pio intercedes for us, miracles happen. Open your heart and prepare yourself to receive one of the most powerful revelations that will change your financial life forever. Before revealing these sacred numbers, it is important to understand Padre Pio's profound spiritual wisdom about prosperity. This saint, who bore Christ's stigmata for 50 years, understood as few do the relationship between faith and material abundance. He always emphasized that God is a loving Father who cares about all our needs, including material ones. Pray, hope, and don't worry, he taught us. This simple phrase holds a profound truth about how we should manage our finances. With active faith, unwavering patience, and total trust in divine providence. Many believe that spirituality and money are opposites, but Padre Pio showed us that this is a mistake. He understood that money, when managed with wisdom and divine purpose, becomes a tool for doing good. It is not money itself that causes problems, but the disordered attachment to it. The 3 numbers that Padre Pio revealed are connected to deep spiritual truths. Each one represents a different aspect of divine abundance, and when used together, they create a powerful channel for receiving financial blessings. Padre Pio insisted that these sacred numbers must be used with a pure heart and the right intention. He knew that in the Bible, numbers are not just simple figures, but carry deep spiritual meanings. Nothing in Scripture happens by chance. For example, when Jesus multiplied the loaves and fishes, it was no coincidence that exactly 12 baskets remained. Every number in the Holy Scriptures has a purpose and conveys a divine message, and the numbers that Padre Pio left us are directly connected to these biblical truths. For him, true prosperity was not merely about accumulating money in the bank, but about achieving a state of integral abundance, where our material needs are met, allowing us to better serve God and our neighbor. These numbers serve as a key to unlocking a deeper understanding of prosperity and divine purpose in our lives. Throughout his ministry, Padre Pio witnessed countless financial miracles. People facing seemingly impossible situations experienced extraordinary transformations when they learned to combine practical faith with spiritual trust. And in many of these miracles, the sacred numbers played an essential role. However, it is crucial to understand that these numbers are not lucky charms or magic formulas. They are not mere figures that, when repeated, automatically generate wealth. They are tangible reminders of eternal spiritual truths, designed to help us align our financial lives with God's will. They function as spiritual keys that, when used with faith and understanding, open the doors to heavenly abundance. The time has come to reveal the three sacred numbers that Padre Pio used to attract prosperity: 7, 12, and 5. But beyond knowing them, it is essential to understand the spiritual power each one holds. The number 7 represents divine perfection. In the Bible, God created the world in 7 days, establishing a sacred pattern of completeness. Padre Pio taught that 7 reminds us that God leaves nothing unfinished in our lives. By writing this number, we declare our trust in the perfection of God's plan for our finances. It is like activating a heavenly switch that connects us with God's perfect abundance. The number 12 symbolizes divine governance and authority. Consider the 12 tribes of Israel, the 12 apostles, or the 12 months of the year. Padre Pio explained that 12 has the power to establish order in our finances. When we write it with faith, we invite God's governance over our economy and allow His wisdom to guide our financial decisions. It is the number of structure and balance, a sign that God desires to bring stability to our lives. Finally, the number 5 represents grace and divine favor. In the multiplication of the loaves, Jesus used 5 loaves to feed thousands, demonstrating that God's grace has no limits. Padre Pio taught that 5 attracts supernatural favor in situations that seem impossible. It is the number of miraculous multiplication, the symbol of divine favor that transforms scarcity into abundance. These 3 numbers, when written together in the correct order, 7, 12, 5, create a powerful spiritual frequency. Padre Pio explained that it is like opening a heavenly safe where God stores special blessings for His children. It is no coincidence that the sum of these numbers is 24, the number of hours in a day, serving as a reminder that God's provision is constant and never ceases. But take note, Padre Pio was adamant that these numbers must be written in a specific order. First 7, then 12, and finally 5. This order is not arbitrary, but follows a divine pattern that maximizes its spiritual power. It is like a sacred combination that, when applied correctly, unlocks extraordinary blessings. Each number must be written with conscious intention and in prayer. Padre Pio taught that while tracing each digit, we should visualize the specific area of our finances that needs divine intervention. The 7 to perfect, the 12 to bring order, and the 5 to multiply. These numbers are a master key that opens the doors to divine prosperity, but their real power is activated through our faith and actions aligned with God's will. They are not a magical formula, but a sacred channel to receive the blessings that God has already prepared for us. Let me share with you the extraordinary story of Lucia Ramirez. Lucia Ramirez, a single mother from Monterrey, experienced firsthand the transformative power of Padre Pio's 3 sacred numbers. Her testimony is living proof of how faith, combined with these special teachings, can completely change a situation that once seemed hopeless. She worked as a salesperson in a small store and barely earned enough to support her 3 children. Her debts had piled up to the point that she was on the verge of losing her home, and every night, after putting her little ones to bed, she cried in silence, wondering how she could move forward. Her savings were depleted, and lenders harassed her with daily calls, leaving her with no peace. Everything changed when her aunt, a devoted follower of Padre Pio, shared the secret of the 3 sacred numbers with her. At first, Lucia was skeptical. How could a few simple numbers change her situation? But desperation led her to try. She began the ritual with discipline and faith. Each morning she wrote 7, 12, and 5 on the palm of her right hand, accompanying each number with a sincere prayer. At first, the changes were subtle, but as days passed, she noticed something different. First, an inner peace she hadn't felt in years, a calmness that allowed her to make better decisions and see her path with greater clarity. Soon after, as if destiny had begun to align in her favor, a store customer offered her a better-paying job at his company. But the true miracle happened 2 months after she started practicing this sacred ritual. A distant relative, upon learning of her situation, decided to help her pay off her most urgent debts. Additionally, this same relative taught her strategies to manage her money more effectively and avoid falling back into financial difficulties. It was as if the sacred numbers had opened a channel of blessings that manifested not only in money, but also in opportunities and the wisdom needed to manage her life with greater stability. The most astonishing part, Lucia confessed with tears in her eyes, was not just the improvement in her financial situation, but the profound feeling of protection and companionship that surrounded her. Every time she wrote those numbers, she felt Padre Pio's presence guiding her, reminding her that she was never alone, and that God's providence had always been there, waiting for her to trust. Today, a year later, Lucia has not only stabilized her finances, but has also created a small savings fund for her children's education. Her story reminds us that these sacred numbers, when used with faith and perseverance, can unleash a series of blessings that transform not only our circumstances, but our entire lives. As she herself says, they are not just numbers, they are keys that open the gates of heaven. Now that you have learned about the transformative power of these sacred numbers, it is time to learn the morning ritual that Padre Pio taught to enhance their spiritual benefits. This ritual must be performed upon waking, when the sun begins to rise and the mind is in its most receptive state. The first thing you must do is make the sign of the cross and give thanks for the new day. Padre Pio insisted that gratitude is the master key that opens the doors to abundance. So before writing the numbers, you must take a moment to be thankful for everything you already have, even the smallest things. With your right hand clean and your heart at peace, begin the sacred ritual. Take a deep breath and connect with your faith. Padre Pio taught that this moment of preparation is crucial, as you are about to activate a direct channel to heavenly blessings. First, write the number 7 in the center of your right palm and visualize divine perfection manifesting in your finances. Whisper softly, Padre Pio, through this sacred number, I activate divine perfection in my finances. Take a brief pause, allowing the energy of the number to settle within you. Next, write the number 12 just below the 7, and as you do, visualize divine order establishing itself in your financial life. Speak with faith. Padre Pio, through this sacred number, I establish divine governance over my resources. Feel how the power of the number 12 begins to bring order to your financial world, creating stability and direction in every one of your decisions. Finally, write the number 5 to complete the sacred sequence. As you do so, imagine miraculous multiplication manifesting in your life. Say with conviction, Padre Pio, through this sacred number, I activate divine multiplication in my finances. Feel the energy of the number 5 sealing the abundance circuit and instilling in you the certainty that divine provision is already in motion. Padre Pio taught that these numbers should remain on your hand for at least an hour. During this time, each time you look at them, renew your faith in their transformative power. Do not erase them immediately. Allow them to act in your life and strengthen your trust in God's providence. Let the numbers on your palm fade naturally, serving as a reminder that blessings flow continuously and effortlessly in your life. This ritual is not something to be done once and forgotten, but a sacred practice that, with consistency and devotion, builds a permanent bridge between you and divine blessings. Padre Pio emphasized that consistency is key to witnessing miraculous results. Throughout the day, whenever you feel anxious about your finances, look at the numbers on your hand and let them remind you that you are not alone, that Padre Pio intercedes for you, and that blessings are already on their way. This practice will not only transform your relationship with money, but also strengthen your faith and spiritual connection. Dear brothers and sisters, as we immerse ourselves in these teachings of Padre Pio, I want to share something special we have prepared to deepen our understanding of these sacred insights. We have created the ebook, The Spiritual Secrets of St. Padre Pio, a book that compiles powerful prayers, reflections based on his teachings, and practical advice to strengthen your spirituality. In it, you will find a detailed guide on how to apply these sacred numbers in specific life situations, as well as inspiring testimonies and special prayers revealed by Padre Pio himself. If you would like access to this spiritual treasure, the link is pinned in the comments. Do not miss the opportunity to transform your life with the wisdom of this beloved saint. Padre Pio's teaching about these sacred numbers goes far beyond their material aspect. Each number is part of a profound spiritual system that connects our earthly reality with heavenly blessings. Today, we will delve into this spiritual dimension that makes these numbers truly powerful. When we write these numbers with faith, we activate 3 different levels of blessing. The first level is divine protection over our finances. It is as if a spiritual shield is created, protecting our resources from unnecessary losses and unforeseen expenses. Many devotees have testified that since they began this practice, their expenses have started to align almost miraculously, reducing waste and attracting stability. The second level is supernatural multiplication. Just as Jesus multiplied the loaves and fishes, Padre Pio explained that these numbers have the power to multiply our resources when used with true faith. This is not about magical multiplication, but the activation of divine opportunities to open unexpected paths for financial growth and well-being. Multiplication occurs in different forms, through new job opportunities, unexpected income, or learning how to better manage the resources we already have. The third level, and perhaps the deepest, is the transformation of our mindset about money. Padre Pio insisted that true prosperity begins in our minds and hearts. These sacred numbers help us develop an abundance mindset aligned with divine principles. Each time we write 7, 12, and 5 on our hands, we are making a powerful spiritual declaration. It is an act of trust in divine providence and a sincere openness to receiving the blessings that God has already prepared for us. It is like unlocking a direct channel to heaven, allowing blessings to flow unhindered into our lives. In addition to its spiritual impact, Padre Pio taught that these numbers also have a purifying effect on our finances. They help cleanse negative patterns and limiting beliefs about money. Those mistaken ideas we have inherited or developed over time that have prevented us from living in true abundance. It is like a spiritual cleansing that removes the invisible barriers blocking prosperity. The daily practice of writing these numbers becomes an act of faith and trust. Each time we do it, we renew our covenant with divine providence and strengthen our connection with God. This daily renewal is crucial to keeping the channel of blessings open. It serves as a constant reminder that our finances are in divine hands. Throughout the day, each time we glance at our palm and see these numbers, we reaffirm our faith and certainty that God is working in our favor, even if the results are not immediate. Faith is not just about waiting for miracles, but living with the certainty that they are already in motion. Now let's explore the different ways these sacred numbers of Padre Pio can be applied to various aspects of our lives. These sacred numbers of Padre Pio are not just spiritual symbols, but powerful tools that can be applied to specific financial situations. Writing them down is not enough. It is essential to integrate them into daily life with wisdom and discernment. For those struggling with difficult debts, Padre Pio taught a special method. Write the numbers 7, 12, and 5 on a white piece of paper and place it next to your bills or debt documents. As you do this, visualize these debts beginning to shrink and eventually disappearing completely. Many devotees have testified that after practicing this, unexpected opportunities arose that allowed them to settle their financial commitments in ways they had never imagined. In cases of financial emergencies, when a swift response from heaven is needed, Padre Pio recommended writing the numbers 3 times in succession on the right hand, forming a triangle. This special arrangement intensifies their spiritual power and symbolizes an urgent petition to heaven. However, he warned that this practice should only be used in truly urgent situations, as faith should not be based on desperation, but on trust. To attract new job or business opportunities, the best way to apply these numbers is to write them in the morning, just before starting the day, while visualizing clearly the type of opportunity you wish to receive. Padre Pio emphasized that precision in requests accelerates divine response. Accompany this practice with the prayer, Padre Pio, through these sacred numbers, open the doors of prosperity in my life. With faith and perseverance, opportunities will begin to arrive in unexpected ways. During important financial decisions, such as investments or significant purchases, Padre Pio revealed that these numbers activated the gift of discernment. To apply this, he recommended writing them on your hand before making a crucial decision, allowing divine wisdom to guide each step. Similarly, to protect and multiply savings, he suggested writing the numbers on the first page of a bank notebook or on a card kept in your wallet. This practice creates a spiritual shield over financial resources, protecting them from losses and attracting growth opportunities. For those who own a business, Padre Pio taught a special application. Writing the numbers on a piece of paper and placing it in a discreet location near money or important documents helps attract prosperity and protect business finances. Additionally, in times of financial stagnation, when money simply does not flow, he recommended writing the numbers while walking, taking 7 steps forward. This movement symbolizes progress and the unlocking of stagnant situations, activating a shift in energy and perception of reality. However, Padre Pio warned that all powerful spiritual practices bring challenges that must be overcome with faith and wisdom. One of the most common obstacles is impatience. Many people expect immediate results and become discouraged when they do not see instant changes. He compared this process to planting a seed. Just as a farmer does not dig up the seed every day to check if it has grown, we must trust in divine timing. Another common challenge is doubt. It is natural that after a few days of practicing, skeptical thoughts arise. Will this really work? Am I just wasting my time? Padre Pio explained that these doubts are tests of our faith and determination. In those moments, instead of abandoning the practice, it is necessary to reaffirm trust and write the numbers with even more conviction. Inconsistency is another significant obstacle. Some people apply these numbers for a day and then forget about them for several days, expecting to obtain the same results as someone who practices faithfully. But just like a phone needs a constant connection to stay charged, this practice requires consistency to generate a continuous flow of blessings. There is also the risk of misinterpretation. Some may fall into the trap of seeing these numbers as a magical formula, forgetting their spiritual dimension. Padre Pio warned that without prayer and a life of faith, the numbers are merely symbols with no power. The key is to maintain a balance between external action and the internal disposition of the heart. Materialism is another subtle obstacle. Some people focus so much on financial improvement that they forget the broader spiritual purpose. Padre Pio taught that these numbers are a channel for receiving divine blessings, but they are not an end in themselves. True prosperity is not merely the accumulation of wealth, but spiritual peace and generosity toward others. Lastly, there is the challenge of external criticism. Many people may encounter skepticism or even ridicule from their surroundings for following this practice. However, Padre Pio reminded us that many saints were misunderstood in their time. What truly matters is not what others think, but the faith with which we live each day. Now that you have understood the challenges and the power behind these sacred numbers, let's explore how they can be applied to different areas of life and how to use them to attract blessings in all aspects. It is essential to maintain faith and allow the results to speak for themselves. One of the greatest obstacles is discouragement, especially when facing financial hardships while practicing this ritual. Padre Pio explained that often these trials do not come to break us, but to strengthen our faith and prepare us to receive even greater blessings. The key is not to give up, to trust in divine providence, and to remember that every spiritual process requires perseverance. Dear brothers and sisters, we have reached the moment to conclude this powerful message about the 3 sacred numbers of Padre Pio. But remember, this is not an ending, but the beginning of a new chapter in your financial and spiritual life. The numbers PADRE 7, 12, and 5 are more than just digits. They are celestial keys, a spiritual gift that Padre Pio left us as an inheritance. Through them, we have understood that true prosperity is neither an accident nor mere luck, but a divine gift activated through our faith and our actions aligned with God's will. If you are seeing this message, it is not a coincidence. Perhaps you have been struggling with financial problems that seem to have no solution. Maybe you have prayed, fasted, and sought different paths, but the doors remain closed. Today, Padre Pio wants you to know that these sacred keys can open the doors that have so far remained inaccessible. This is not just about numbers written on your hand, but about an act of trust in divine providence, an openness to financial miracles that surpass all human understanding. If you truly want to see a change in your life, I invite you to begin this sacred practice tomorrow. Do not let doubts or procrastination steal your opportunity to experience this miracle. The moment of your financial transformation is now. And if you firmly believe in the power of these sacred numbers, write in the comments, Padre Pio, activate my financial miracle. This declaration of faith, combined with the application of these sacred numbers, could be the turning point for the change you have been waiting for. Remember that Padre Pio never abandoned those who came to him with sincere faith. These numbers are his gift to you, his way of continuing to bless and transform lives, even after his departure to heaven. Use them with faith, with respect, with consistency, and prepare yourself to witness miraculous transformations in your financial life. And do not forget that blessings multiply when they are shared. If you know someone who needs a financial miracle, share this message with them. Faith moves mountains, but the sacred numbers of Padre Pio open the paths that lead us to them. May Padre Pio intercede for you, and may these sacred numbers open the doors of prosperity in your life. Never forget that God has a perfect plan for your finances, and these numbers are part of that divine plan. Amen.